What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to answer the question, can the Pistons, Raptors, and Bulls make it to the play-in tournament for the 2022 NBA season? Let's get into it.
The Detroit Pistons finished last season 20-52 and ended up being 15th in the Eastern Conference, and that is dead last. But the East is tough this year. Is it possible that the Pistons can make it to the play-in tournament?
As exciting as the Pistons basketball may be for the next season, based on the Eastern Conference teams that are and the way they're constructed this season, I'm going to have to say no.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say no. I am hopeful, however, that they are at the foundation of their beginning. That's what I feel. So I'm not saying that this team won't be exciting to watch, won't be competitive during the regular season. I just don't know if, based off of the other teams that are in the Eastern Conference, if they will be able to at least make it to the play-in tournament for this season with this roster. We'll see it unfold as the season progresses. I do believe that, but it will be exciting to watch. I am looking forward to seeing what the Pistons will do in the future. I just don't know if this season is the one where they'll make it to the play-in tournament.
Okay. And I have them going to the play-in tournament. Now, okay. I think the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference in no particular order are the Nets, Bucks, Miami, Atlanta Hawks, Boston, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I think that right there is solid. I mean, there's no tinkering with the 1 through 6, but that 7 through 10, I have them going to the play-in tournament because Isaiah Stewart is going to have a larger role with the departure of Mason Plumlee. And they also have the number 1 draft pick in Cade Cunningham. And you've said it before. I don't know if it was on camera or off, but Cade has that thing. He has the it factor.
I agree.
Yeah, and he's gonna inject some serious life and energy into the Detroit Pistons. So I'll take it. Killian Hayes is coming back from injury. They got Saadiq Bey now, and let's not forget Jerami Grant. Those guys, together collectively, I think they can work it up where they at least make it in the play-in tournament next season.
That's fair, and I do agree. I think, and that is true. I don't know when I said it, but I do think Cade Cunningham has something special. All I'm saying is that making it to the play-in tournament this year. So this, I don't want anyone to take what I'm saying as though the Detroit Pistons don't have a solid foundation that they're building on. I agree with that. I don't see them being number 15 in the next season. That is a fact. Okay. And if they do make it to the play-in tournament and prove me wrong, I'm cool with that too. That's what I hope every team can do, right? Making it out may be a different story. The other teams, though, that are in the Eastern Conference, I think based on paper right now, again, people, let's just be clear. We're talking about roster paper review. None of them have played together at this point, right? I'm just saying I think there's other teams that they will be competing against to make it to the play-in tournament that right now on roster are slightly better than them. That's just what I'm saying. So no, I don't dispute anything that you're saying. I agree with all the things that you're saying. I don't know if collectively they'll have enough to get that push. That's just all I'm saying. So, I'm here for it. I don't know if, and honestly, if you think back, the Detroit Pistons have not been right since Chauncey Billups left. They have been struggling since then, right? So I do believe, and I'm going to say it again, that they have a solid foundation that they're building on. We will see how the season progresses, and then we'll see what additional pieces they may need to add when in the next season. I do believe that in the future, we will see the Pistons a top solid 6. I just see it.
Yeah.
I just didn't say that they'll make it to the play-in tournament right now. That's all.
Okay. So let's talk about who you may have in the 7 through 10, because those would be the opponents, right?
Right. So I think that the Pistons will really be up against the Pacers, the Hornets, the Bulls, and the Raptors.
Really?
Yeah. If they happen to make it, the Pistons happen to make it to the play-in tournament, it's going to be the Raptors, Bulls, and I said, and the Pacers. Those are the 3 teams I think will be the challenge that the Pistons will run up against. And the reason why I say that is because the Pistons are a young squad, right? I think the oldest member may be Kelly Olynyk, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to be enough to be able to compete against what the Raptor team will do. what the Bulls teams, based off of their experience, will be able to do. That's what I'm saying. So,
okay.
foundation, yes. Are they ready for what the future looks like? Absolutely. But for this season right now, it's questionable for me. So I'm going to have to say no.
Okay. It's funny, though. I have the Raptors, the Wizards, and the Chicago Bulls, down there 7 through 10. And then obviously I have the Detroit Pistons. So it's going to be very interesting. I don't have the New York Knicks anywhere in the play-in tournament or 1 through 6 for next season.
Can I just tell you the New York Knicks, I don't have them either. As a matter of fact, they may need to rebuild. We'll probably talk about it in another video if we talk about the Knicks, but I'm gonna tell you right now that Kemba Walker edition did nothing zero for me, right?
Yeah.
So go on and let Derrick Rose. We're not talking about them right now, but let's let Derrick Rose lead, because if you were expecting, we'll talk about it later. But I'm just saying, I don't have the Knicks either.
No.
Yeah. I do believe that the Pistons can better compete this upcoming season based off of the pieces that they have. I do believe that they'll need more experience as we get deeper, right? So it all looks good. They'll win. Will they win games? I believe they will win more games this season coming up, 2022, than they won in the 2021 season. I believe that. I don't know if it'll be enough. That's just
okay. All right.
We'll see what the future holds for them.
Yeah, I like the fact that they went ahead and re-signed Coach Dwane Casey all the way through the 2024 season. That right there provides consistency for this young team. Having coaches in and out and, interim coaches and all that, I think that is detrimental to a young team having to make that adjustment,
I agree. And I think that the Pistons will find that they'll need to add some type of free agency veteran. That is a little bit more, that adds more leadership, right?
Yeah.
And this team is young. Now, Dwane Casey, let's just not forget how he led the Toronto Raptors to the playoffs year after year after year. Now, no, they did not get over. They couldn't make it over the hill to win a championship. Nick Nurse had to help them do that. But don't forget about what Casey developed and built in Toronto. We can't forget that. So I can see him doing the same thing with this young core. Being a young core is exciting for me. I love to see the progression, the progress that young teams make. And if they can make it to the play-in tournament, that will be great for them. I think it will be great. If they can make it out of it, can you imagine being a young core under Casey's leadership, making it out of the play-in tournament? That'll also be amazing. So I believe that the foundation that the Pistons are setting for their organization is solid, and they can continue to build on that. So their future is bright.
Okay. All right. So I have them making it to the play-in tournament.
And I do not.
Yeah.
Not this season.
Okay, cool. Let's switch over to the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls finished last season 31-41 and were 11th in the Eastern Conference. Now, I must say, they've gotten significantly better for next season. Do you see them making it to the play-in tournament?
Yes. I'm on the Bulls bandwagon. Yes.
Are you on the bandwagon?
Oh, I'm on the bandwagon. I'm gonna own it. Absolutely. I am actually riding a lot of bandwagons, and it just is what it is. I like the game of basketball, so I'm fine with that. But I do see that the Chicago Bulls will make it to the play-in tournament. Their roster that they've created for this next season is pretty solid. Just the fact that they've added DeMar DeRozan. Now I know that they added Lonzo Ball. There's high hopes for Lonzo Ball. I'm waiting to see what that looks like. And hopefully now third time is a charm for him.
Right.
And he'll be able to really improve. Zach LaVine is a solid player. And I still, for me personally, hold that if he had not gotten injured late in the season in 2021, they would have been in the 10th spot. I still feel that. So now that they've added these additional pieces, I really believe that they can now take it over. Yes. Play-in tournament, Chicago Bulls, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. With this kind of talent that they have now, absolutely the Bulls are going to the play-in tournament. Yeah. Some might even have them solidified in the 1 through 6. I do not quite yet. They have not played together. We don't know how Coach Billy Donovan is going to put all these pieces together.
Right.
DeMar DeRozan in the new environment, Lonzo the same. And they have Lonzo starting over Coby White. I have a problem with that.
Why?
Because Coby has been putting in work. if I'm Coby, I'm like, oh, really? Y'all going to bring in Lonzo to take my spot? If I'm Coby, I'm going to be starting. I'm going to force Billy Donovan by my play and productivity to put me in a starting lineup because Lonzo don't want it, though. He don't want it.
You and I both know that Lonzo Ball will be out injured. And so Coby White will be starting, and he will be able to take over his starting spot again. I agree. I think I can understand why they don't have Ball coming off the bench. I get it. The name, the money, the camaraderie, the fame, and all. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, Coby White will eventually be the starting point guard, and it may happen in the second half of the game of the season. Again, if Ball can show improve, third time is a charm. When you gonna step up, Ball? I'm waiting for it, right? But I already know that Coby White has already proven himself in Chicago.
Yeah.
So if Lonzo Ball got to come in and put some more fans in the seats, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I can tell you right now, Vooch, DeMar DeRozan, Levine.
Yeah, they're going to be putting up some serious points. Just them three alone. Maybe they do have a big three. Maybe they do.
Wait a minute. Y'all drop that in the comments and let us know if Chicago Bulls now have a big three.
They may. Now, Alex Caruso, the addition of Alex Caruso in his defense. And you know what? Alex is clutch. I'm so glad he got a new contract. I think he's making $8 million now.
Alex Caruso, I think Chicago is going to be a team to compete against when it comes to defense. That Alex Caruso is fire on defense.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the Chicago Bulls, since the Los Angeles Lakers didn't need that defense anymore, apparently. I'm glad that the Chicago Bulls picked him up with this roster. That's what I'm saying. Think about the roster altogether. Now, it looks great. If they can now show that in real time, I agree. Play-in tournament, absolutely. And I would not even be surprised if they're top 6.
Ooh.
I can tell you right now, the Knicks, y'all better get it together. You're going to fight for stuff number 15. So, the Bulls, absolutely.
The Chicago Bulls haven't made the postseason since the 2017 season when they had Rondo, they had Dwayne Wade, and Jimmy Butler. They lost 4-2 against the Boston Celtics, and I don't know if this team can really make it out of the play-in tournament because we both have them in. But I see a couple of issues moving forward. First of all, like I said earlier, Coby White, he started 54 games for the Chicago Bulls, and now they have Lonzo. Now he is repairing his injured shoulder, so I'm hoping that he can kind of, get back into the swing, and that could be why they have Lonzo starting to allow Coby more time to get, rehabilitated.
I agree. And I think that he'll need that time. So I don't have a problem with Lonzo Ball starting if that's how they want to start the season. I just know that if Lonzo Ball doesn't improve his performance, I can tell you right now, Coby White needs to be ending the season as a starter. That's just what I'm saying, right? And if y'all need to make a decision come All-Star break, then that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. You want to get Lonzo Ball acclimated to, this new scheme and this new city, whatever. But Coby White need to be finishing the season.
Yeah, he does.
If Lonzo Ball doesn't do anything that's going to be significant. When we're talking about playing up with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, because Alex Caruso is going to be coming off the bench for sure. And Vooch, like, what do you? I you know what it is? I think what it's going to be, what I believe Coby White has that Lonzo Ball doesn't have is grit. And that is one of the things that I think the Chicago Bulls franchise is built upon is grit. Now, I do see that Zach LaVine got it. I think he has it. DeMar DeRozan, I mean, at this point in his career, he's probably like, oh, I'm going to get it. I did all that work in Toronto, went to the Spurs, helped the Spurs at least make it to the 10th spot in the West. At least I did that. I was their top scorer. I was averaging about 25 points a game. I can at least do that. Now I'm here with this Chicago Bulls team. And you think I'm not trying to get a ring? Come on, DeMar DeRozan, it's time for him to at least do something, right? So I don't know where Ball fits in when we're talking about the grit of the game. I just don't know where he fit in.
Well, I don't know. I also see an issue in closing minutes. What do you think Billy Donovan would do? We know Vooch, DeMar, and Zach LaVine are going to be on the court if they're not in foul trouble.
Absolutely.
Do you put Lonzo in the closing lineup?
If you want him to disappear, you might as well sit on the bench. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm talking about the grit is missing for me, right? What I do know is if you put Coby White on the floor, he's going to be an addition to what they do when they close out the game. Just don't see Ball doing it. I just don't see it. Maybe he will.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Billy Donovan does. I know he has kind of like a very abrasive coaching style. I worry about, how Lonzo will receive it. I've been riding Lonzo hard since the Lakers. I'm just waiting to see. I'm really pulling for him, but at the same time, I just don't know. I don't believe yet. Patrick Williams was drafted. I think he surprised everybody when he was the 4th pick in the 2020 NBA draft. I think a lot of Bulls fans were shocked by that pick, but they have him starting at power forward. I think that's a gap.
Why does he have to start though?
I know. They brought in Derrick Jones Jr. I'd rather have him a little bit more experience and have Patrick come off the bench. I know they're trying to develop Patrick Williams, but he can do that coming off the bench.
Yeah. Again, I think that what we'll see when the season starts for the Chicago Bulls will not be what they end up with. So sometimes we know there's sites that have what the projected starting lineup will be. Yeah. But if that starting lineup doesn't work, it'll be a whole different starting lineup, right? So I am anxious to see what it will end up being come December. That's all. Right. So yeah, they may have Patrick Williams in there to start and all. I think that's fine. But if he's not producing, because what the Bulls can't afford to do is get behind early.
Yeah.
If they want to solidify a spot in the play-in tournament, and we're talking about you don't need that many games. Is it play-in tournament worthy or is it solid playoff spot worthy? And it's what they need to determine. And I think that since they have not been able to make it at least to the playoffs since forever, I think this roster will be the catalyst to get them to where they need to be, at least 7 through 10, at least.
So let's move further east and up to the north to the Toronto Raptors. Now, they finished last season 27-45 and were 12th in the Eastern Conference. Now, these guys won the NBA championship at some point under Nick Nurse. Do you see them making it to the play-in tournament next season?
Yes, and out of it. Yes, and yes for both. Yes. The Raptors' 2021 season was uncharacteristic for them. And I think a lot of that has to do with them being displaced in Tampa, Florida. That has a lot to do with it. I think the fact that Kyle Lowry knew this was his last time, his last rodeo, had a lot to do with it. And I do also remember, if I'm not mistaken, they had like the most undrafted players on their roster for their last season. So I take the 2021 season for the Toronto Raptors, and I'm going to put that in the trash. For them, it never happened. Because if you think about it, prior to the 2021 season, they were always in the playoffs. Matter of fact, they were always either 1 or 2 spots, like top 3 at least, year after year, even under Casey. So whatever that was in 2021 never happened. It didn't even happen. So I believe that with this new roster, we'll finally get a whole season for Gary Trent Jr. Now we got Precious.
Oh, yes.
Nice pickup. Goran. Can I just say the pieces that they added this offseason is going to really benefit them. And now that, you have, and what's so great about their roster is that they have 3 players on there that were part of their 2019 championship run. Fred, Pascal, and I want to say OG and OG. They know what it takes to get there. They've been there recently, right? And they've also experienced what it's like when you don't even make it. You didn't even do it at all. Not even make it to the playoffs. So that hunger that they have, and I don't believe Nick Nurse is going to allow that to happen again.
Right.
How dare he mess up his whole resume with the 2021 season? That's why I just think that they will do it. This roster right here will be the roster that may actually can potentially upset the East.
Okay.
Can potentially, so we'll see.
Well, the great thing about next season for the Toronto Raptors is they're back home. They're back in Scotiabank. So,
Yes.
it's possible they may upset. They might be a solid 1 through 6. Now, Pascal Siakam and Nick Nurse did have a little flare up last season, and it was just because of the frustration of not winning basketball games, which you said was uncharacteristic for the Raptors. Siakam, look, he's making $33 million a year. He wants to win games, and he's already tasted what it's like to win a championship. So I don't blame him. But that's water under the bridge. So I'm expecting them to do really well next season.
Water under the bridge and the necessary disruption that they need to now get back on track. I don't believe any team has go through their season without some type of disagreement. Some of the disagreements get to the media. Others do not. But the frustration that they experience, I get it. You tell me how you feel being displaced for a whole year, then having to perform your job at the best of your ability when you're not even at home. You tell me how you'll do. And then not only that, they had to do it during COVID. Come on, COVID shutdown. It was horrible. So no, now that they're back home, back comfortable, had that disruption, can potentially make them a better team because they've experienced both ends of the spectrum, the win and a great loss. So I'm really excited about that. And again, Precious and the Goran Dragic pickup, great pickups for them.
I was just getting ready to say, let's dive into them real quick. Now, these guys came from Miami, which means they have heat culture. Grit on another level.
Yes.
What does Goran bring to the lineup? Now, they lost Kyle Lowry. Is Goran a nice replacement, though?
I would say yes. If you think about it, Goran Dragic started in his previous teams.
Yes,
he's a starter.
Yes.
He happened to come off the bench. And as a matter of fact, the Heat may have looked a lot better had he not gotten injured.
Yes.
Okay, so Goran is a solid player. He will add great production to the Raptors, and that's what they need. So the loss of Kyle Lowry, yes, Kyle Lowry is a cornerstone, was a cornerstone of the Toronto Raptors. I mean, but again, his time is served. He wanted to move on, and I'm okay with that. He's been there forever. So if he wanted something new, that's fine. He's in Miami now. Oh, that's great. But adding Goran to the Raptors is not a bad look. Now, will he be a Kyle Lowry? No, he's not supposed to be. So don't compare them in that manner, right? Goran is Goran. He started before. The teams did very well when he was there. So now guess what? He's going to be, I like it.
I love it too. Now, let's talk about that center spot, Kim Birch. If I'm Kim Birch, I'm looking over my shoulder at Precious Achiuwa because I'm telling you, Precious is a clone of Bam Adebayo. He should be in the starting lineup.
He should be in the starting lineup, and I believe they brought Precious over. I read somewhere they brought Precious over because they needed more rebounding and protection in the paint. And if y'all saw him when he did play for the Heat, he's all of that. That man is strong.
Yes.
Strong. And his ceiling is high. Like he's young. That was one of the things that I read in the article that was missing from the Toronto Raptors is that they lacked rebounding, they lacked protection in the paint. So I believe Precious can do that. So Kim.
I know.
Sir.
He better bring it. Because Nick Nurse will not be afraid to make that adjustment.
Oh no. They go again. Whatever they start off with will not be what they end up with. And I can see Precious being in the starting lineup. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I am also excited to see what Fred VanVleet will do.
Yeah.
Now that he can take a more prominent leadership role, because now that Lowry is out, we'll see what that looks like for him. But yeah.
Yeah, that backcourt with Fred and Gary. Ooh, I like it.
You think Goran will start? He should, right?
No, I think Goran's coming off the bench. I think he's going to back Fred. Fred just got his new contract, $19 million a year now. Happy for him. They're back home. Oh, yeah. They're going to look good.
So Fred's going to move to the point guard position?
Yeah, I think Fred's going to play point. And then Gary, will play shooting guard.
I ain't mad at Gary. Oh, no. I'm here for Gary. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ooh,
So let's
yeah.
talk real quickly about Scotty Barnes. He's their 2021 NBA draft pick. He is Mr. Energy. I love his game. I think he fits really well into the Toronto Raptors, because when they had Ibaka, they had paint protection, they had athleticism. Scotty brings that.
Yeah, nice addition. He'll most definitely come off the bench. He'll be a part of the rotation, right? Because I believe what I do like about the Toronto Raptors, they don't have a problem with developing their young core. And they're okay with that because their roster still have quite a few undrafted players that they've committed to. So Scotty is going to be a nice addition to that. And I just can't wait to see them back in the thrones of the top 6 because that's where the Raptors need to be. They're a great team.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
That's where they belong.
But I have them in the play-in tournament.
Oh, no, I'm okay with that. I have them in the play-in tournament too. But if they make it to the top 6, I can see that as well.
All right, you guys, we are going to wrap up this episode. Make sure you drop down in the comments and let us know what you feel about the Pistons, the Bulls, and the Toronto Raptors for the 2022 season. Do you see them a solid 1 through 6 or in the play-in tournament? Drop down. Let's talk about it. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
Peace.
Peace, y'all.